Hey all, February has come to a close, but there was some really great vegan highlights that I wanted to share with you. And honestly, the world is so crazy right now, and it can seem overwhelmingly negative that any kind of bright, shining light and hope for the future, it definitely pumps me up and makes me feel better about things. So as always, everything I'm talking about, you can get direct article links to through my BlueSky account. And if you're looking for me on the BlueSky app, my handle is Pup C Raw. So yeah, just check it out. I have links to everything that I'm talking about there. And let's start with some good news. So first up, we had a little update on cashew butter, all kinds of recipes, things you can make with cashews. Why is it so good for you? Honestly, if you don't know what vegan dairy to buy and you see an option that's listed using cashew butter, get that one. Cashew anything is going to be so creamy and delicious. I think it's one of the best types of vegan dairy alternatives. And yeah, I mean, there's always others, but cashew is just kind of a slam dunk no matter what brand. I haven't seen a bad cashew product yet. Moving right along, if you happen to live in California, Southern California, Long Beach has this amazing vegan Filipino bakery that is doing so well, and it looks like all of their baked goods are so delicious. So if you are out in that area, Southern California, definitely stop by. It looks amazing. Also in news, there was a big victory from PETA. They had been pushing Airbnb to stop selling different types of animal rides around the Giza Pyramid Complex. So Airbnb and several other travel companies have agreed to discontinue selling these animal rides. And that includes things like riding camels. If you're curious, why is that so bad? Camels, they're built for giving humans rides. They are not. And it's not so innocent. It's kind of like if you think about, where does milk come from? Cows. And you have this image in your mind of a happy cow on a pasture. That's just not reality. Same thing with animal rides, like camel rides. So the article that I had linked, it does describe in disgusting detail what happens to these creatures, but it's not good. It's definitely not good. So anyways, I'm happy to see that those little animal ride companies are going to get less revenue because they're not going to get any more sales from Airbnb and the like. So good. Ha! I did post an article I saw that is titled, "Eating Less Protein, Not More, May Help You Live Longer." And it used a lot of data from Blue Zones, and they suggested that low protein plant-based diets support the ultimate health goals that people have. One quote I found interesting was, "Animal foods don't have fiber, and plant foods generally don't have saturated fat. So in this sense, it's actually more beneficial to choose plant foods over animal foods." They had a lot of really good, healthful nuggets in there to talk about health and what's good for your body. So yeah, just lots of useful info that I couldn't post all the favorite quotes I had, but check out that article. It's very interesting. Now, there was an event I had never heard of before this week. It's called Gulf Food. It looks like golf, the word golf, mixed with the word food, Gulf Food. And apparently it's the world's biggest food and beverage trade fair, and it's held annually in Dubai. Anyways, the point of the story here is that guess who won Best Frozen Food Product? Out of all the different frozen foods, the winner, it was a vegan product, yes. It was tater cheese nuggets, completely vegan, delicious. And the little packaging for it says, "air fryer ready," which with the popularity of air fryers, I'm sure that catches a lot of people's attention. But it sounds good. And also, a couple weeks ago, I had an article that I linked up talking about how to get the best vegan cheese pull. People were experimenting with different ingredients, and it looked like potato was one that gave a good cheese pull. So I'm not even surprised that this #1 best frozen food product has potato in it for cheese. So that's fantastic. And there is an update for our friends out in Illinois. So there's a town there called Oaklawn, Illinois. They are getting their very first vegan restaurant. Heck yes! Congratulations! It's a Mexican food restaurant too, so that is amazing. Looks like it's called Abuelita Coco Mexican Vegan Cafe. Love it for you. I think that's going to do really well. Mexican food is amazing. I'm from Southern California originally, so I might be a little biased, but I do think it's one of the world's best foods is Mexican food. Yes, maybe a little biased, but you can't help it. Mexican food's so good. Especially vegan Mexican food. Can you beat that? Okay. Now, if you're not into motorcycle racing, guess what? Neither am I. But there is really exciting news coming from that activity. There's apparently a top racer, Scott Redding, who's promoting a new one-piece vegan motorcycle suit that he has. It was made in Italy, and the manufacturer is quoted as saying, "We have many inquiries from vegan riders, from riders who don't want animal leather." So it's a big success. And heck yes, I guess they just achieved like a AAA rating. Their suit without leather, so it's really safe, great for pro motorcycle riders, and I'm sure it's going to be even more popularized. I love that. I love that. I love seeing veganism spread in all these different categories of life, even things that I'm not really interested in, like sports, because it just means that it's more prevalent and less animals are going to be harmed moving forward. So everybody wins. There was an article I saw too that talked about all the different Michelin star vegan restaurants. Recently in London, the restaurant called Plates London got their very first Michelin star. And there's 4 other restaurants out there that are vegan and have Michelin star ratings. So that's very exciting. There's one here in New York. It's the highest star rating, 3 Michelin stars, called 11 Madison Park. So one day maybe I'm going to try these restaurants. It sounds like one of those bucket list goals that we can have. In other news, there was this whole article that it was a little too in the weeds for me, but basically I pulled a quote from the article that I thought kind of wrapped things up well. It says, "Antioxidants that give fruits and flowers their vibrant colors seem to counteract some of the most dangerous reproductive system effects of exposure to microplastics, such as decreased fertility, and could ultimately be used in developing treatments," new peer-reviewed research shows. I love me some peer-reviewed research. That is fantastic. And it just goes to show that, yes, fruit and veggie, plant life, that's the way to go for health. It's just one more example that you can add to our list of millions of examples. But interesting little article from The Guardian there. If you haven't heard, there's a red coloring called carmine. So you might see this in bright red lipsticks. They put it in food. So besides Red 40, what they call a natural product to dye things red is carmine. And all it is smashed up bug bodies, like these little female beetles, I guess. When you smash up their bodies and you powder them up, it's this bright red color. So it's very disgusting. But anyways, the good news behind me bringing this up is that there is a new product being launched that is a great vegan alternative to it. So it's a California-based biotech company, and they've created a bioidentical alternative to carmine using biotechnology. Sounds fancy. Love it for everyone who's into the color red and all the products that use red coloring. This is going to be a big win for y'all. Now, something else I saw that was cute was just a little reminder about pets out there, things to make sure we avoid giving them. As you know, chocolate is probably not high on the list of things to give your pets, but also milk, salt, burnt toast, which I'm like, who is feeding their pet burnt toast? But okay, it's bad for them. Raw egg, hydrogen peroxide, which again, why are you giving your pets hydrogen peroxide? Excuse me? What? Garlic and essential oils. So things to avoid for your pets to keep them healthy. There was another article about beef tallow. So personally, I've seen people talk about beef tallow a lot, like on TikTok, all kinds of places. They're saying, oh, beef tallow, it's like this miracle thing for beauty, for eating, to make yourself more beautiful. So external and internal use, people are promoting beef tallow. And there's this article just titled Why Nutritionists Say Beef Tallow Isn't Worth the Hype. And I like this quote. Experts warn that beef tallow poses serious health risks. And later on they go on to say, experts emphasize that the source of fat matters, and plant-based options offer better cardiovascular benefits. Heck yes. Heck yes. If you're big into convenience store foods, I don't know if you're familiar with the brand Slim Jim, those meat sticks that you pick up on the go, but there's a competitor out there now. I'm sure there's multiple, but I just heard about this one. It's called, what is this? Before the Butcher. It's kind of written a little funky on the packaging, but I guess they're using sunflower seeds as the base of this product, and it's in a meat stick shape. So this brand called Before the Butcher, they're offering like a pepperoni flavor, I think some other flavor. But yeah, a little more competition for Slim Jim out there. Hopefully they have them at all the local convenience stores so people could grab those and try them as an alternative to Slim Jim, which uses dead animals. And then in other news, we have Canada. So Canada is investing $5 million into a company to scale up their vegan seafood. The name of the company they're promoting is Conscious Foods. So Conscious Foods with a K, Conscious with a K. They're getting $5 million from their country, Canada, and they're going to specialize in plant-based sushi and seafood, including plant-based smoked salmon and crab cakes and shrimp and all things like that. So definitely we'll see some more vegan alternatives for seafood coming out of Canada soon. Another interesting stat I saw is the growth of plant proteins. So there was a whole article about it. It's called The Dawn of the Plant Protein Age. What happens next? And a good quote from it is, the global market for plant protein is estimated to be worth in the US $14.3 billion just last year in 2024. And it's projected to grow 7.5% to reach in US dollars 20.5 billion by 2029. Plant protein is now regarded as appealing by 73% of consumers. They did go on to mention that most of those consumers are not completely vegan or vegetarian, but whatever. It's helping save animal lives, so I love it. I love to see this growth and interest in vegan products. Heck yes. There was an article from the UK that made me go, what? Excuse me? It was talking about beavers. So I guess the UK government is going to allow wild beaver releases for nature recovery. I guess nature groups will be allowed to release beavers into English waterways after years of rewilding advocacy for them. I just don't know, where were these beavers before? Is it just a bunch of animal, places, what do you call them, where you just keep animals, not a conservatory, but like where are these beavers at? So somehow there was a stockpile of beavers and they're releasing them into the wild. I mean, the article, I was looking, I'm like, where did these beavers come from? Where are they being held? It didn't get into it. I'm sure this might be an obvious thing to someone else, but to me, I'm like, okay, you're releasing them, but from where? Like, where were you holding them? It's so crazy. Oh my gosh. But anyways, good job, UK, letting those beavers live in the wild. Sounds good to me. I like it. There was another article that said something totally obvious, but I posted it anyways. It was about animal agriculture and how it is actually the primary driver of climate change. No shit, Sherlock. Like, yes, I feel like that is so obvious. It's so proven. But anyways, it says in this article that animal agriculture is actually responsible for 53% of the global average temperature rise. So there's nothing that can beat it. That's more than half the pie right there. So it's definitely the leader when people talk about airplane rides and do your part and blah, 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 blah. Really doing your part is to be vegan, because you don't want to support animal agriculture, which causes global warming. I mean, just get rid of the biggest problem. Why are we playing around with these other things? Get rid of the biggest problem. It's not good for the environment, animal agriculture. It's not good for us to ingest that. It's not good for the animals, obviously. Like, just not good. So anyways, good article, good article. There was another one that had mentioned the top 5 nutritious seeds. So trying to be healthy as a vegan, right? You want to know what's good to eat. It listed the top 5 nutritious seeds as sesame. By the way, tahini is amazing, and I use it in so many of my raw vegan dressings. And then number 2 is pumpkin seeds, and then chia seeds. My goodness, if you haven't had chia pud, it is amazing. I saw there was someone who made a tiramisu chia pudding, like a vegan one. Oh, chef's kiss. I still haven't made it because I'm lazy, but I should. I definitely should. Number 4 would be flax seeds, and then number 5, sunflower, which I think sunflower is amazing blended with cashews for making great creamy sauces and dressings. So good, so good. Now, there are some superstars this past week who are vegan and have big accomplishments. One of them was vegan medalist Kristen Santos Griswold. She's quoted as saying, oh, and by the way, she's a speed skater, so she's gotten multiple golds, represents the US, and she's quoted as saying, "I've always loved animals. Don't want to contribute to anything that could be harmful to them. When I switched to a fully plant-based diet, I also began feeling just overall so much better and began skating better too." So heck yeah, big congrats to Kristen for all her golds, and I wish her the best in the future. It sounds like she's on a roll. Heck yeah. Another vegan star, he's known as Vegan Hercules, Brady Crandall. So he has just qualified for the World Natural Strongman Championships. And in this, they do check for steroids, which are totally banned. So he earned his qualification powered on a 100% vegan diet. Big congrats to Brady. Heck yes. There are recommendations in this other article that I saw, and it's for major coffee chains. So like Starbucks, Dunkin', the big guys out there, if you're hungry and you want something, what can you buy? Immediately Starbucks, I think of, you could get oatmeal and just get like soy milk or oat milk in there, which is hilarious. So it's like, I'm getting oatmeal with oat milk. It's like, wow, what an oaty dish. But apparently one of the new items on the Starbucks menu is spicy falafel pockets. And before, I've noticed Starbucks hasn't had really any vegan sandwiches or wraps or anything like that. So this will be something new. Dunkin' does avocado toast and shockingly no vegan donut. Dunkin', what the heck? Pete's Coffee has an everything plant-based sandwich. So that should be interesting. And then there's a few more on there, but yeah, it's just at least there's something you can go for if you're hungry and you're vegan. There's always, I think, bananas available or like an apple, but if you want something to step up, right, there's some options. Very nice. LA, one of those top cities that has so much vegan cuisine, but there was a little LA magazine called The LAist, and I guess they do like what to eat around town type of a thing, and one of their readers wrote in and asked them to do cheap and delicious vegan spots, things that they can get for under $10 in LA. So they had a bunch of great ideas. They had this restaurant called Vegetino's, and I thought it was so cool because Vegetino's has pupusas. Oh my gosh. So if you have not had a pupusa, go to Vegetino's if you're in LA, because apparently their vegan ones are amazing. There was a place called Hot Tongue, which does not sound appetizing to me, but I think they do pizza. And then there's a bunch of others. But if you're in Southern California, I mean, you have great options. So heck yeah, just explore the space, really. I mean, at least once. I say give everything a try, you know. You never know what you might like. There was a lot of listings for events in the UK and North America that I found. So I posted up some links where they have all the upcoming events. One of them was like veganfairs.co.uk. They had a lot of good events listed. Another one was vegansupply.ca. They had stuff listed for the US and for Canada. And then in other news, there was an article from the Journal of Food Science, and I guess that they were trying to dispel the myth that ultra-processed foods included, or dangerous, I should say, unhealthy ultra-processed foods included plant-based. They're like, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. When people complain about ultra-processed foods and how unhealthy they are, the number one foods they're referring to is going to be kind of a tie between sodas and animal meat. So think if animal meat like pepperoni, bologna, hot dogs, those things, right? Those Lunchables that people get. Ugh. So that type of meat that's ultra processed from actual animals, that's unhealthy. And then they were talked about, okay, well, let's get into the alternative meats, vegan meats. Those are processed. Are those as unhealthy? Surprise, surprise, they're not. It's very healthy to eat plants. Okay, so anyways, I thought that article was good because I do hear that pop up. People sometimes say, oh, it's processed. Vegan food is processed. By the way, you can always have a delicious salad or fruit. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Make yourself some lentil soup. I mean, there's so many simple ingredient recipes out there that are vegan, so you can get crazy with it and be super, super healthy. Now, this Sunday, there was an Oscar win, and I'll end it with this. Or actually, I'll save that for next week. But it probably won't be a surprise to anyone. I'll just tell you now. There was a Best Actress award who was a vegan. All right, so the superstar is Mikey Madison. She's a vegan and she won Best Actress for Anora. I want to be real, I have not seen that movie. I've never heard of her before, but big congrats. I love seeing vegans get up there, share their stuff, because it brings more eyeballs and attention to the cause. And like, what is she doing? And some people get inspired and they start looking into things just because there's a superstar out there who's doing it. So if there's a superstar who's vegan, I definitely love promoting them and supporting them. And I'm very happy. So big congrats to Mikey. All right, guys. Well, until next time, bye.